Hi guys, my name is Alisha and I work in the restoration office. So I've had a chance to hear so many of your amazing testimonies. And I feel like God is asking me to share my personal testimony. And I think it's easy sometimes to look at someone whose life seems to be all put together and just going really well and blessed. It's easy to look at their life sometimes and think, well, that's great for them, but they just have it easy. And it is true. I do have a very blessed life. It is a privilege to get to do what I do every day. I have an amazing husband. I have a son who is an answer to prayer and a miracle. And I have been blessed. But life was not always like this, and it's because of God. So, flashing back to several years ago, I was raised in church. I was raised by a loving family. I accepted Jesus into my heart when I was 8 years old in the parking lot of a Toys R Us, and I was raised in church my whole life. I knew all the right things to say. I knew how to dress, how to act. I was good at church, but I don't think I ever really knew how much God loved me. It was more of what I needed to do and accomplish for Him. And that worked for me for a good part of my life. But then probably in my early 20s, I found myself at a place where I told God one day, I said, God, I love you, but I just want to do what I want to do. And if you love me, I think you just want me to be happy. So you want me to do what I want to do because I just want to do what makes me happy. And so I did. And I stopped talking to God for a while. And I just decided that I was going to do what I wanted and what made me happy, or what I thought would make me happy. And it didn't take long for my life to very quickly spiral out of control. And I found myself one day just laying on the floor, literally in a fetal position, just sobbing, and knowing my life was not what I wanted it to be, and I was more unhappy than I had ever been, but also had the guilt of knowing that I was there because of my own choices, and just feeling stuck because I had done the church thing, and it wasn't completely satisfying, and I'd done my own thing, and that didn't work out well. And so I just cried out to God, and I told Him, I said, God, I don't know you like I want to know you, and I don't trust you, but I know that this is not working for me. And I had heard of restoration just from being in church, and so I knew what it was about. Never really thought much about it or went through it, but I told God that day, I said, God, I'll give you 16 weeks. That's my deal. I'll give you 16 weeks, and I will invest myself into this. I will throw myself into this entirely. And at the end of 16 weeks, if something hasn't changed, I walk. And so that was my deal, and I did. I showed up every single day that there was class to restoration. I immersed myself in it. I studied the scripture that was given. I listened to what was taught, and I just gave God the 16 weeks, like I had said. And at the end of the 16 weeks, it was such a difference. It wasn't just this list of what I needed to do or what I had learned before. It was a new understanding and a fresh revelation of God's love for me in a way that I had never experienced before. And God held up His end of the bargain. He did change everything in me. And I just had such a freedom and a joy and a peace, and that happiness that I was looking for on my own that I did not find, I finally found it. And what I learned through restoration is that God gives us the choice. He doesn't make any of us do things His way. We absolutely have the choice to do things our own way. But I've done it both ways. I did it my way, and I did it God's way. And life is so much better doing it God's way. And I learned that personally for myself. And it's not about what you do or what you say or knowing the right thing to say or any of that. And while all of that is good stuff, it's not what it's about. It's about knowing the love of God at a heart, personal level, and knowing that He's a Father and that He cares and that you have somebody who's there for you constant and all the time. And restoration is where I learned all of that. And I grew up in the church. But restoration taught me something that I never really understood for myself. And so I just wanted to share with you that if you find yourself in a place where you're thinking that you need more freedom, or you're not completely happy, or have joy, or peace, or you're just in that place of needing something different, I challenge you. Make that deal with God that I made. Give Him 16 weeks. Get into restoration. Pursue Him in those 16 weeks, and I promise you, I guarantee that He will show up and He will reveal Himself to you.